Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 2025 Ferry-Morse Garden Get-Together series. So previously I hinted that Caitlin from My Bowl was going to share a recipe with us from her gorgeous green beans. Let's head to our kitchen and check it out.
Hey everyone, it's Caitlin from My Bowl again. I hope you all are enjoying Ferry-Morse's Garden Get-Together so far. In my previous segments for this Garden Get-Together, I showed you a little bit of my garden, and I also showed you my bush beans, which I grew from Ferry-Morse's organic bush blue lake seeds. I have some of my harvest right here, and now that we're in my kitchen, I'm going to show you my favorite green bean recipe. It's my go-to. It's super quick and easy. You only need about 15 minutes to make it, and I love how it's very simple and versatile, so it pairs well with a wide variety of dishes. I love growing produce, but I especially love using Ferry-Morse's seeds because I know they're high quality and I'm going to get a great product from them whenever I see the Ferry-Morse logo. I also just think it's so rewarding to grow things from this tiny seed and watch it transform into all this beautiful produce that we get to cook and enjoy in our own kitchens. I'm going to set these seeds aside and we'll start prepping the recipe. The recipe is very simple. You only need a handful of ingredients. I'm using about a pound of green beans, but this recipe is very easy to scale, so you could double, even triple it if you're cooking for a crowd, or cut it in half if you're cooking for less people. And then for our garlic flavor, obviously we're going to need some garlic. I have about a clove of minced or chopped garlic. You need about 2 teaspoons of cooking oil. I'm using olive oil, but you could use any oil you'd like, or even a butter if you prefer to use that. And then we're also finally going to need some salt and pepper, classic seasonings, plus a little bit of warm water, about 3 tablespoons. Green beans take a while to cook when you're just sauteing them, so I like to saute them in the flavors first, and then we're going to add water to our pan and steam them for a bit, so they're still nice and crisp, but they're not overly crisp. I have already washed my green beans, so I'm going to clear my workstation, and the first thing we're going to do is trim the ends of our green beans, and then I prefer to cut mine in half so they're in more bite-sized pieces like so, but you can keep them whole if you prefer that, or you can cut them even smaller, whatever your preference is. To save time, I usually like to bunch about 4 or 5 of them together and roughly line up their ends instead of cutting each green bean individually. The pieces will be not quite exact, but we're not going for an exact science here. It's gonna taste the same either way. I love incorporating a wide variety of produce in my diet, but I especially love incorporating homegrown produce because, like I mentioned earlier, it's 1, so satisfying to grow, but 2, you really know you're getting produce at its peak freshness because you're watching it grow in your garden, and then you can pick it and bring it to your kitchen in a matter of minutes and incorporate it into your meal. So that's way fresher than you're going to get at any grocery store or even a farmer's market. The other thing I love about picking my own produce is that you really get to pick it at your preferred freshness. So if you like your green beans even more thinner and more tender than the ones that I'm showing you now, you could pick them a little bit sooner. Or if you like your green beans to be a little bit larger, you can wait a little bit longer. You know, you just don't really have those options at the grocery store. I also really do think that growing your own produce encourages you to eat more produce, because when you can look out your window and see all of your fruits and veggies, or just veggies growing, you're really a lot more inspired to cook with them and make seasonal meals with them and incorporate them into your diet versus having to drive to a store and decide what looks good, see what's on sale maybe, and go from there. All of my green beans have been trimmed to my preferred size, so now we're going to take this over to the stovetop. Warm your oil in whatever pan you prefer to use. I like to use non-stick. And then we'll add the garlic and saute this for about a minute until it's fragrant. Then we'll add in our green beans seasoned with salt and pepper and stir until everything is lightly coated in oil. Once our green beans are coated in flavor, we'll add the warm water to the pan and then quickly cover it, and we'll let the green beans steam for about 4 to 5 minutes until they're tender. Finally, uncover your green beans, stir well, and we'll saute them for another 4 to 5 minutes until they are cooked to your liking, and then it's time to serve and enjoy. And just like that, we have these beautifully fragrant, perfectly cooked garlicky green beans. One of my favorite ways to serve these is more of an Asian inspired dish, so I'll serve it over rice with some crispy tofu and chili oil. But like I mentioned earlier, I really think this flavor profile is very versatile. style. So you could also serve it with mashed potatoes and your favorite protein. You could serve it with your favorite Italian mains. It's just a great veggie side that doesn't require a lot of extra effort, and you get to utilize the fresh produce in your garden. So that's why I love it. If you do have any leftovers after making this, you can store them in an airtight container in the fridge for up to 3 days. And I personally like to reheat these on the stovetop, but you can also reheat them in the microwave for a quick and easy snack, side, or meal. Thank you so much for tuning into my portion of Ferry-Morse's Garden Get Together. I had a lot of fun sharing my garden and harvest and cooking with you all in my kitchen. If you're looking for more simple and seasonal plant-centered recipes, you can find more on my blog at FromMyBowl.com or at From My Bowl on various social media channels. Don't forget to shop Ferry-Morse's seeds for your garden this season. These again were the Bush Blue Lake organic seeds. I really recommend them. I plant them in my garden every year. Thanks again, Ferry-Morse, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye.